All right, so today is going to be day 5, and we're going to be focusing on scaling your store, scaling your business, and everything around that. Again, if you guys missed any of the other days, all of the recordings will be sent over to you in your email. We'll also drop the links to all the recordings in the chat throughout this live as well, so you guys can go ahead and grab those links, and then you can go and watch them after this call is over. So. Again, today is day 5 in scaling your store. So getting straight into it, obviously I'm going to be your host. If this is your first day, my name is Adam Polmeke. I've been doing dropshipping for the past 5 years now. When I was 17 years old, you can see I look a little bit younger there. So yeah, I started when I was like 17 years old. I'm 22 years old now, so I've been doing ecom for 5 years now. So it's quite a while now. Good amount of experience. So, yeah. And then kind of what to expect from this 5-day live series. So, obviously, the first day, as most of you guys know, we went over on how to use the Storebuild.ai tool to actually build our stores all for us. If you guys did follow along with that, you know that you would have a store fully built up to this point right now. Then on the second day, it was going over how to promote and drive traffic to your store using AI. So that's to create AI image ads or to create video ads. So very, very helpful. And you're able to use that to actually drive traffic to your store and to actually start making money. Because again, if you know, you could have the best store ever, you could have the best product ever, you could have the best angles ever. But if you are not getting people to your store, then you're not going to make any money because there's nobody going to your store to even be able to buy anything. So you need to be getting people to your store to actually get people to buy and to make money. So we went over that on day 2. Day 3 was going over how to run your store with AI. Today we're going to be going over how to scale your store with AI as well. And then or day 4 was about fulfilling your orders as well. So. And then now today, what you're going to learn today, the first thing is the 4 pillars of growth. So that's going to be traffic, products, conversion, and operations. Then 2 is going to be key metrics every dropshipper must track. So your ROAS, your ROI, your LTV, and your AOV. So we'll go over each of these kind of acronyms as well. Then number 3 is going to be how to build your personal 30-day growth plan live. Day 4 is going to be what's inside Zendrop Academy and how it accelerates your growth. It's going way too fast here. And these are kind of the main topics that we're going to be going over today. What we're going to do is, because there's nothing to really show when talking about all of these things right here, we're going to have a couple slides, and what we'll do is I'll talk on these slides, and then we'll kind of just answer any questions that you guys have about each of these things on the slide. So at any time, feel free, put in your question. We're going to answer those questions as we go slide by slide here. So, all right, getting straight into it. The 4 pillars of growth. So every dropshipping business that grows does these 4 things very, very consistently. First one is going to be traffic. Second is products. 3 is conversion, and 4 is your operation. So starting with traffic, if you get more eyes on your store, so you make more money, right? If you, like I talked about earlier, if you create the best store ever, you have the best product ever, you do all these things, but you're not getting traffic to your store, nothing else really matters because then you don't even get to see if this product can sell, and there's no chance of making money. So traffic is probably one of the most important things. So you can do paid ads, you can do organic content, retargeting. Without traffic, nothing else matters. Scale what's working, cut what isn't. So realistically, the entire lifeblood of your e-commerce brand, of your e-com store, all comes down to traffic. Because if you're getting a ton of traffic, right, let's just say that you're getting 100 people to your store every single day. And let's just say the 100 people that come to your store every single day, maybe nobody buys. That gives you a couple of insights. Maybe you need to improve your store. Maybe you need to fix your product pricing. Maybe you need to, maybe your product isn't good, right? Or the way you'd be able to tell that your product might not be good is if you're running ads and all of your metrics are good, but nobody's really clicking on the ad, maybe they're just not interested in your product, right? There's a bunch of different things that you can find out once you actually start getting traffic. But if you're not getting any traffic, you're not able to find out what's kind of wrong with your store, right? You're not able to find out if your store maybe might not be optimized. You're not able to find out if people are actually interested in your product. You're not able to find out if you are using the or selling to the right avatars. There's just a lot of things that you can learn from driving traffic, especially if you're running paid ads. You're able to get so much data where I think for a lot of beginners, you try and run paid ads, or a lot of beginners try to run paid ads. Um, and in the beginning, they expect the paid ads to immediately just start performing and immediately start making money. And when they start running ads, they don't make any money. So what happens? They kind of get discouraged and they think that it doesn't work. When in reality, most during the testing phase, you are going to have spend some money. You're probably not really going to make any sales, but you are learning and you're getting data and information from the algorithm, and you're also learning more about your customer as you do this. Most of the time, when it comes to your traffic or like running paid ads, um, it's never really the product that isn't working. If you have a product that solves a problem, you really just need to find the right avatar and the right angle to then sell to. And that's where you can actually make money. So that's where you pretty much are able to learn and test. You need to be constantly testing things. You need to be constantly testing ads. You need to be constantly testing organic posts. The name of the game is just about doing as much volume as you possibly can with traffic, right? The more traffic you're able to get, the more you're able to learn about your customer and what currently works, and you're able to test those things. So it's just a big cycle of testing, seeing how it performs, and then reiterating on that and then testing that, right? And then you go through this cycle over and over and over and over again. And honestly, that cycle never ends. You're constantly always testing new things. You're testing new angles. You're testing new creatives. You're testing new videos. You're testing a bunch of different things. You see how it performs. You take the data and the metrics that you're receiving back, and then you make changes from there, right? If something performs poorly, then you know, okay, this doesn't work. Let me change something and let's test it and see how this works. If it now performs well, okay, let me go ahead and see if I can make some changes and make improve on what's currently already working. And then you test that. And if it performs even better, then that's great. And then you keep reiterating over and over and over again. Does organic posting on Instagram work? Yes, organic posting on Instagram 1000% works. That's what I used to do, and that's kind of what I recommend for a lot of people to do, especially beginners, just because you don't need to spend money to post, right? A lot of beginners, they're able to post organic. It costs nothing to post on Instagram organic or to post on Instagram. So you might as well go ahead and just start doing that as well. All right, that's kind of everything a little bit for traffic right there. Let's actually go through all four of these four pillars right here. After we do these four pillars, we'll do a short Q&A, and then we'll move to the next slide right here as well. So now second is going to be products. You always want to be testing new winners. Your best product today won't always be your best product. Keep a testing pipeline of 3 to 5 new products running at any time. Now, again, usually your product, or it really just comes down to finding a winning product or finding, maybe not a winning product, but finding a product that solves a problem and then just trying to test new different angles for that product. Now, you also do want to make sure that you're moving quickly with your testing. You don't want to be just constantly testing a product for so long and it's never going to be a winner, right? You need to know when to actually kill off a product and you need to be ready to be able to test the next product. So you kind of want to have a couple in mind that you already want to go into next. But also at the same time, give the product that you were testing a good amount of time to actually test, but don't overdo it where you're just spending too much time on that product when you should know to kill it off. Usually, when you're running paid ads, that's where you're able to kind of find out a lot quicker because if you're spending a lot of money on paid ads and after a couple days you're not really getting results and you've tried multiple different angles, you've tested multiple different ads, then you kind of know like, all right, let me go ahead and just cut this and switch to the next thing. How much time is enough time? Usually, if you're running paid ads, I like to give it around like 2 or like 3 days of actual ad spend. And for me, ad spend, I usually spend around $50 per day on ads to test. So if I'm testing, let's just say five ad sets, and each ad set is its own angle with like avatar. And I test those five, and then none of those work, and then I test like maybe another three different angles, usually around like that. I test around like 5 to 8 angles. If none of them stick, um, usually I do five first and then see how those perform. And then if none of those perform well, I'll test like a couple more angles. If none of those work, then I'm just quick to move off of it, um, and then switch to something else. You need to know when to cut your losses. So again, usually for me, that's around like a 3 day window of full ad spend. So, and again, for me, I like to test at $50 a day. So to do a full test for me, it's around like $150. Now, sometimes I'll go even more aggressive, and like if I really do believe that the product is going to perform well, I'll test at $100 a day, and then I can end up spending around $200 to $300 on a test, and then I'll be able to like fully know. But you don't have to do all of that. Like you don't have to do $100 a day testing. I just again I like to be very fast and I like to be very aggressive. Where you can still do $25 a day and then you just spread it out. The only issue is it's going to take you a lot longer to actually get enough data to analyze and to actually figure out if this is a product worth doing or if this is something that you can scale or not. So. Next is going to be conversion. So turn more visitors into buyers. So better, that's going to be having better product photos, trust badges, urgency triggers, and a faster checkout, small CRO improvements, compound very, very fast. So pretty much it's just making sure that you have a store that actually gets people to convert. I think a lot of people, especially now, with the amount of AI tools out there, a lot of people get caught up in just trying to make their store look as good as possible, which, yes, you want your store to look good, you want it to look clean. But I think a lot of people get um, caught up in trying to have the craziest animations and the craziest looking store. When I promise you, sometimes the ugliest stores are the ones that actually are the ones converting very, very well. You honestly should just, when it comes to creating a store, all you need to do is find a current store that is performing very well within your niche, or even if they're selling the exact same product as you, and then build out kind of similar to them because it's already currently working. Um, and again, having good product images, having like video testimonials on your page, and just having assets on your page to increase the amount of trust is going to be very, very important in terms of actually converting people. Because now, let's just say that you have a very good product that people are actually interested in. You're now also getting a bunch of traffic, right? You're posting or you're running ads or you're posting content, and you're getting a lot of people to your store. But now your store is not designed to convert people. You might get a couple sales, but you're going to be losing out on a ton of sales because your store is not set up correctly for conversion, right? You do get the store build.ai tool, so that pretty much builds the store out for you, but it's another thing where you also need to go in there and make personal changes and add like very good product images and adding in all these other assets to help build trust. So again, whether that be video testimonials, adding reviews onto your store, and also making your store faster. I think a lot that's something that gets overlooked a lot, where having a store that loads very quickly is also very important because if people go into your store and it loads very slowly, then people are just going to click off because it's taking too long, right? If imagine if you're scrolling, you see an ad, you click on an ad, and then you want to be able to load into it and you want to be able to see the product, and now it's taking 10 seconds to load your store. People are immediately just going to get bored and they're just going to click off and they don't care anymore because it's taking too long. It's not really worth like they want to see it right there and then. So that's another important thing as well. Now, moving on to operations. So you want to make sure that you're building systems, not just tasks. So auto fulfillment helps you automate everything, automated emails. That's also very important. And SOPs. If you have to do something more than twice, automate it or document it. So SOP is essentially just documenting everything. So on how to do something. That way you can pretty much just stick to this rigid structure. And then you can also, it can't be automated, or it needs to be somebody that's actually doing it and can't be done by AI, you have it documented so that when you want to hire somebody, they can just go ahead and just follow your SOP, your document. But again, having something like auto fulfillment is very helpful in terms of scaling because you don't have to worry about actually fulfilling your orders manually. I'm not saying like shipping, I'm talking like going into your Zendrop and then fulfilling, like clicking fulfill on each one and then putting in the customer's information, all that stuff. So auto fulfillment helps a lot. Automated emails, automated SMS, like all of these flows and sequences that you can set up, these automated sequences are going to be very, very useful. So another example of like automated emails is if somebody lands on your store, everyone's always seen those pop-ups that say, "Hey, sign up for a 20% discount code right now. Enter in your name, email, and phone number, and we'll give you a 20% code right now." You get people to opt in there, you grab their email, you grab their phone number, and now what you're able to do is you can now market to them through email and SMS, right? And you can have these automated flows that get sent out to them. So now, let's just say somebody is going ahead and they added the product to the cart, all right? But maybe something came up and then they closed their cart and then they never end up purchasing. You can have it set up where it's an automated email that gets sent over to the person, and you can also set up automated text message where if the person forgot to check out, you say, "Hey, you forgot something in your cart," and you have the link and you direct them back to your store to go ahead and finish checking out. So there's a lot of things that you need to set up like that are just systems that are automated that go ahead and actually help scale your store, right? I think automating and also just delegating tasks is one of the biggest key things that you need to do in order to actually start scaling. If you're manually sending emails, if you're manually sending SMS messages, if you are manually fulfilling all these orders, it's going to take forever to scale. So you need to either automate everything or you need to delegate these tasks out to somebody else. Obviously, automations are a lot cheaper than delegating out to somebody else, but obviously, there's always going to be tasks that are going to require a human still. Maybe eventually AI is going to completely take over almost everything, and you don't even need to have a human involved in when it comes to certain tasks. But in the meantime, if there's a certain task that requires a human, then you go ahead and you hire somebody to fill that role. But in order to scale, one of the biggest things is to build an actual system, not just a set of to-do lists and tasks to do. You want to just try and automate as much as you possibly can while also trying to delegate out as much work as you possibly can so that you can focus on the more higher leverage things. So things like creating ads, running ads, just again, the higher leverage things that you can do within your business. And one of the highest leverage things that you can do for your e-com store is going to be testing new ads and driving more traffic and optimizing your store, things like that. Once your store is fully optimized and you have a winning product, um, honestly, the biggest thing, the highest leverage thing that you can do is focus on sales, focusing on your offer, and then also focusing on getting more traffic. If you have every single one of these things all dialed in, if you have your fulfillment is dialed in, your conversion on your store is dialed in, your automations are all dialed in, all of your systems are all dialed in, and everything is working. The only thing you need to do is focus. The highest leverage thing that you can do is drive more traffic to your store, right? You start driving more traffic to your store, eventually something's going to break. You need to go ahead and then fix that thing that ends up breaking, and then you again keep driving more traffic to your store. The biggest thing that you can do to actually succeed in ecom is just run more ads, drive more traffic to your store. If you drive more traffic to your store, you're able to get more data, more information on what's working, what isn't working, and you're able to make changes. If you're not driving traffic to your store, you never get to learn anything about your customer. You never get to learn about your product. You never get to learn anything. So you need traffic in all of this as well. And that's one of the most highest leverage things that you can do once you have all of your systems in place. And that is for scaling. Now, before we move on to the next slide, does anyone have any questions on this part right here? Let me also make sure that I'm on pace for a good time here. I don't want to be spending too much on each slide here. I'm new to Shopify and Zendrop. I have my own domain. My question is, when you mention create your store using AI with Zendrop, will that be the same store that I'm creating in Shopify or a different separate store design? So storebuild.ai is it creates your store and that goes over onto your Shopify store. So it essentially creates your store inside of Shopify for you. AOV, what does that mean? It just stands for average order value. So. It's just like the amount of money that people end up spending on average when they purchase. So let's just say that you're selling a product for $50 and then you have like these bundles set up where it's like a buy one, get one half off. Now, let's just say somebody buys that. That person's average order value would go from $50 to now $75 because they were originally going to buy one product for $50, but because of the offer and the bundle that you had, they ended up taking the buy one get one half off. So they end up spending $75, which the customer always ends up thinking that like, oh, I'm saving money by taking this offer because if I ever wanted to buy another product, I would have to pay $50 and I would end up spending more money, which yes, is true. But what ends up happening is though, they still end up spending more money on this current purchase anyways, right? So you just want to try and maximize the average order value as much as you possibly can every single time. And the way you can do that is through bundles, upsells, cross sells, down sells. I mean, there's a billion different things that you can do in order to increase your average order. Maybe not a billion, but there's a bunch of things that you can do in order to increase your average order value. I do have a question, how to set up trust badges with a new store. Is it possible that you can create those yourself? So trust badges, I believe those could when you go to your theme editor inside of the actual like where you can edit your Shopify store, if you click on add section, I believe there's one there that you could use. Is it a good idea to buy a product from your website and see how it is delivered? You can just go ahead into Zendrop and then just order a sample, and it's going to come. You're going to receive it exactly as your customer would have received it as well. Okay, let's move on to the next section here. So key metrics that every drop shipper must track. So if you're not tracking these, then you are guessing, and here's what each one pretty much just tells you. So these are a couple acronyms that are used inside of the ecom space and also inside of just like the business space in general. So first one is going to be your ROAS. So this is the return on ad spend. So this pretty much just tells you if your ads are profitable. A ROAS of 3x means for every dollar that you spend, you made $3, right? You usually want to aim for around a 2.5x plus to start, right? The target is usually around a 2.5x to a 4x. Now, when you are testing, it can be lower than this, but that is completely fine because you are still in that testing phase. As you start to scale, this is usually the number that you want to be kind of shooting for. Now, second thing is your average order value, as we kind of just talked about just there. Higher AOV means more profit from the same traffic. So upsells, bundles, and free shipping thresholds all increase this. So your target is to push 20 to 30% above your base price. Now, LTV is your lifetime value. So customer lifetime value. So how much a customer is worth over time. Higher LTV means you can afford to spend more to acquire a customer. So target, know your 90-day LTV, right? It's pretty much just how much your customer is worth to you. So let's just say that a customer were to buy from your store for the first time for $50. Then maybe you send them an email or a text message saying that you're offering a special sale on this new product, and this product is now $100. Now that person comes back and spends $100, and then maybe 2, 3 months down the line again, you send them another thing. You say that we're having another sale and we have this new product that we're launching, and you're selling that one for $100 as well, and they go ahead and purchase that. The lifetime value on that customer would be $250. Now, that's also not the average lifetime value. You would pretty much just average them all out from all of your customers put together. But like in that case, that one customer would be worth $250. Now, in another case, if a customer comes to your store and they buy a product for $50 and then they never return, they never buy anything else from you, nothing, your average order value on that customer would be $50. So then you would do $50 divided by $250, and then that would be your average order value, right? Um, or I don't know if that's the right math. I think maybe. I don't know. You get what I mean. So return on investment. So the big picture number. So covers product costs, ads, apps, and fees. And this is what tells you if the business is actually working. So your target is obviously just to have a positive ROI before you start scaling. So these are a couple key metrics and a couple key things that you need to be looking at when you're doing all of these things as well. So now your 30-day your 30-day growth plan. So these are a couple things that you want to go ahead and focus on every single week after your store goes live. So on week one, this is pretty much what you want to go ahead and start focusing on. So days 1 through 7, you want to run your first ads. So you can start spending around $5 to $10 per day on testing ads. Again, it really just depends on how much you want to spend on testing. The less you spend, then of course it's going to take a little bit longer. The more you spend, you're able to test a lot quicker and you're able to be a lot more aggressive with your testing. The second thing is going to be watch your ads cart and checkout rates. You want to see what the rate of, or like how many people are getting to your store and at what rate are these people adding your product to the cart, or are they also checking out? That's very important. That pretty much tells you if your store is built for conversion. If you're getting a ton of people to your store and nobody's buying, maybe the price of your product is too high, which sometimes can be the case, but not very rarely. It really just comes down to a lot of your messaging and the problem that you solve. And then also, it could also come down to your store not being set up for conversion, right? Maybe people get to your store and then it just does not look trustworthy. It looks like a dropshipping store, then people aren't going to buy because they can tell. Then getting your first 1 to 3 orders is going to be done in this first 1 to 7 days. Now, note what's working. Don't change everything yet. So now we move over to week 2. This is where you want to go ahead and start to double down. So days 8 through 14, first thing you need to focus on is scaling your budget on winning ad sets. So if you see that a current ad set is performing very well, then you want to start increasing your budget. Now, if you're also running a CBO, which is a campaign budget optimization, you would go ahead and increase the budget of that campaign and then also kill off any ad sets that aren't performing well. So another thing is kill ads with no conversions after $20 spent. So if there are current ads that are not performing well and they have a good amount of spend on them, then go ahead and just kill that ad off because it's not performing well. Then what you want to do is test 1 to 2 new product angles or creative. So again, you want to be testing as much as you possibly can. What you can do right here says test 1 to 2 new product angles or creatives, but if you want to test even more, you can obviously go ahead and test even more as well. I like to test honestly 5 new ad creatives at least every single day, even if they're in the exact same kind of angle and avatar that I'm trying to sell to. Then it's going to be set up email follow-up for passive buyers. So you just want to be sending out emails to people that have already bought from you and then saying like, hey, we have a special offer, X, Y, and Z, and try and get these people back to your store because somebody that has already bought from your store usually they have already trusted from you, and people that have bought from you are more likely to buy from you again. So what you want to do is reach back out to them and give them another offer. Give them what's the word for it? Give them it's like an offer that you can't resist, right? If they see that they're getting such a good deal that they need to take it and you send it over to them, they'll most likely end up buying because they've already bought from you as well. Now, days 15 to 21, so this is week 3. This is where we're going to focus on optimizing. So improve your product page based on real data. So you're up to this point, you should have already gotten a good amount of people to your store. You're getting a good amount of traffic. And with all of that, you're able to actually get some good data and some good information on your store, on your product, on your ads, on all these things. And then what you want to do is use this data to your advantage and make any changes that are necessary. upgrade, or not upgrade, but improve everything and try to make everything better. Then add an upsell or order bump. So that's where you can go ahead and start adding in bundles, upsells, and all of these things in order to start increasing your average order value. You want to go ahead and check your ROAS, your AOV, and profit. Are numbers improving, right? If they aren't improving, then you want to go ahead and take a look as to why these things aren't improving. If they're going down, you want to go ahead and look through your metrics and see maybe what could be going wrong and why everything is starting to go down. And if everything is improving, again, same thing. Look at your metrics, look at your numbers, look at everything and see, okay, why is everything improving? Once you kind of figure out why everything's improving, you want to start doing more of that. And you also want to start reiterating on that and testing different things to see if it improves even more. Then explore a second winning product. So this is what you can go ahead and do now is find other winning products and add these onto your store so that you can sell these as bundles and things like that to then go ahead and increase your average order value as well. Now, week 4 is going to be scale or pivot. So days 22 to 30 is if you're profitable, increase your ad budget 20% every 3 days. Then 2, if not, swap your product or test a new audience. So if you're usually up to this point and you aren't getting any sort of results, it's not you've tested all the angles, or not maybe all the angles, but you tested a good amount of angles. You've made all the changes you possibly could, and you've ran the ads, you've gotten all this traffic to your store, and you actually have some good data and information, and you aren't in the green and you aren't getting results, that's where you got to go ahead and just kill it off. Then it's going to be review your 30-day numbers versus your goal, and then set your month to target. Oh, all right. Now, someone said great value webinar. I appreciate it. Let me drink some water here. I feel like I just talked for I don't even know 30 minutes straight. All right. Any questions up to this point right here, real quick? Also, if you don't have any questions, just type in the chat. Just say, just let me know something. You guys are still paying attention, and you guys are getting some good information out of all this. Just want to make sure that everyone's still good. If you want to go ahead, you can also take some notes on everything here. The call is all recorded as well, so everything I'm talking right here, you are going to get the recordings. So, but yeah. All right, everyone's saying all good. Is anyone confused about anything? Does anyone want me to go back on anything? Anything that you maybe are confused on? All right, everyone is paying attention, which is good though. Very good. Can you take some meta for running ad setup to give us real time idea? Um, I I have my current ad account, but it is going to give away the current product that I am running. So I would open it up, but I wouldn't be able to at the moment. Just because again, I do have a product on there already running live. Um, so yeah, and I don't have a dummy account that I'd be able to use as well. Um, what is a healthy ROAS to scale on an ad? Usually I try to be at around like a 2.5x or more. That's kind of like what I shoot for. But in testing, if you're in the red on your ROAS, that's still completely fine because you're able to then find out winning angles. The entire point of testing is honestly not to like make money. You shouldn't be going into testing looking to make money. If you do end up making money, that's great. But if you go into testing, the entire point of it is to test and get data and information. The entire purpose should be testing angles, testing creatives, testing copy, all of these different things. Once you've tested all of these things and you find what doesn't work, you need to, if nothing's working, then you need to start testing different angles, test different avatars, all of these different things. You test those. If those still aren't working, then you know, okay, let's just kill it off. Let's move on to the next thing, right? Let's just move on to the next product. It is what it is. You need to be quick to kill it off, or you're going to end up spending way too much time, and also you're going to end up spending a ton of money on nothing. Now, if you tested different angles and you find something that's working, you need to double down on that angle. So yeah. But for again, during that testing phase, I'm not looking to make any like obviously I'm trying to make money off of it, but during that testing phase, I'm not worried about oh, I need my ROAS to be in the green. I need to be making money off my ads right away. The entire purpose is to try and get information and data, and also to warm up your ad account, especially if it's a new ad account. Great info, just feeling overwhelmed since it's the first time doing something like this. Yeah, I mean, with anything though, first time you ever get into it, it's always very, very confusing. You don't really know what to do. So that's why the best way to actually learn and the best way to become good at this, where it's not overwhelming, is just getting straight into it and getting into the weeds and just trying to do it. The best way you're going to learn is by actively doing the business model. So calls like this are great to actually get the information and to learn the information. But the other thing where you're actually going to learn, it's going to stick in your brain, is when you take the information that you take from calls like this, or videos, or courses, wherever it might be, and you actually implement them. Because when you implement them, you're gaining experience, and experience is what stays in your brain, and that's what stays there, and you start to actually learn. Um, so yeah. Uh, Budget is pretty limited. What would your advice be on next after stores launch? If your budget is limited, what you can do is just run organic content for the time being, to kind of like test. Now with organics, it's going to take a little bit longer because you need to be testing different creatives to try and get views and stuff like that. But if you do have a smaller budget, you don't really have a big budget to spend on ads, then running organic content is probably going to be the best move for you. Once you go with organic content, maybe you're getting traffic to your store, you're making a couple sales, save that money and then use that money for testing paid ads. Um, let's see, let's see. If my store will be a hybrid store with digital products, I'll be uploading myself to my store. Can I add those digital products into the same web page created with? Yeah, you can definitely add on digital products onto your store. What I recommend, what I have seen people do as well, is they're selling one main product, and that's what they're mainly focused on marketing and driving traffic to. What they then do is have digital products as upsells to that product. So let's just say that you're selling a product that helps with your skincare. This is, I'll show you guys right now. Can everyone see me, by the way? Just type in the chat if you guys can see me. Just say like yes, no. I'm pretty sure everyone can see me, but I also like, can you guys see me clearly or is it like a small screen? Let's see, yes. Everyone says like it's yes, and it is small. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen real quick. I'll show you guys a quick example, and then I'll share my screen again. This is a product that I used to sell. This is actually one of the first products that I used to sell that performed very, very well. So this is an LED face mask. So you can see right here, it has LEDs, and the entire purpose of it was to help people with their acne. Um, and what I would do is, or what you could do in this case, if you have a digital product, is you're going to market this. This is a product that you're mainly going to be driving traffic to. You're going to drive people to your store, and everyone's going to be mainly focused on this. This is what you're mainly going to be focused on selling. Then what you can do is you can now sell a digital product alongside of something like this. So you can say, I have this guide that will also step-by-step guide on how to start getting better skin and things like that. But you're able to then have the digital product as an upsell. And because digital products don't really cost anything, you create a digital product one time and that's it. And you can sell it as many times as you want. There's no actual cost to that. So you're just increasing your average order value by a good chunk as well. So like let's just say like I sold this product usually I think I was selling it around like $80 and I would also be selling it at like $150. I was up and down with the price all the time, just like testing different things. But let's just say I'm selling this product for $100. I can then go ahead and offer, I would say you'll also, if you bundle this and the digital asset, you'll get the digital asset for 80% off. And you could say that digital app or that guide is worth maybe 20, or maybe let's just say that guide is usually worth $50. but now they get an 80% discount if they go ahead and bundle these two things together. And this guide is meant to show them how to use the mask properly, because if you do all of these things and you also use the mask and you pair these two things together, then that's how you get the best results possible. So you pretty much just frame it as like, yes, you can use this mask, you'll get good results from it. But if you buy this digital asset as well, I'll also show you how to maximize the results that you get from the mask. So that kind of makes sense. That's a way you can kind of pair digital assets with the product that you're selling and increase your average order value. So that's kind of another example there. So let me go ahead, pop my screen back up here. Let's pull the chat back up here as well. Is that kind of I know the person that asked that question, that was a very, very good question, by the way. So I went on a little bit there, longer than I expected to answer that question. But let's go ahead. We'll move on to the next section right here. So I just want to go really quickly and just talk about how far you guys have come, especially everyone that's been here from day one. It's kind of crazy that we've done this event for 5 days already, and today's the last day. I feel like the event started like yesterday. It went by very, very fast. So, in 5 days, you guys went from zero to running an actual store. Day one, again, this is if you followed along, you built your store, you found winning products. Day two, you created these ads that got clicks. Day three, you connected AI to run your store smarter. Day four, you mastered fulfillment and customer experience. And day five, you built your growth plan and scaling roadmap, which is what we've done here today. Now, another thing that I want to go ahead and talk about is going to be the Zendrop Academy. So let me go ahead and pop this up here. So inside of the Academy, I'll show you guys exactly how you can get into the Academy is if you go over into your Zendrop account, let me move the chat and actually make the chat a little bit smaller. When you go over into your Zendrop account, you're going to see it says dashboard, find products, trending products, my products, and you'll see where it says Academy. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click on Academy. Once you're inside the Academy, you're going to see we have a ton of different resources inside of here. We have all of these course modules right here that pretty much go over every single thing you need to know about creating a successful e-com store. So you see designing your store with store build, updating logo, product images, product copy, Facebook ads, launching Facebook ads, making ad creatives for Facebook, Shopify backend systems, like every single aspect. Like I know we went over through like everything on this 5 day event, but the actual nitty gritty of like click this button, click that button, do this, do that. All of that is all inside of Zendrop Academy here as well. So like inside of every single course module here for you. Then if we come over to like the community hub here on the left, you'll see we have an entire community built here. So if you ever have any questions, anything like that, all you have to do is come inside of here and you put in your questions you have. You can see there's people in here that are asking questions. And at any time, all the coaches that are inside of Zendrop Academy will go in there and answer your questions as well. So I'm inside of Zendrop Academy. So I do have a live coaching call once a week where I'm pretty much on there just helping people with their stores, talking strategy, Q&A, reviewing people's stores, and all of these different things. Then if we come over down to the upcoming live coaching, so under the coaching sessions, you see that we have all of these events. So we have, as some of you guys know, we had Elliot on yesterday, and I believe on it might have been day two. One of the days, there was 2 days that Elliot was on here with us as well. And he also is a coach inside of Zendrop Academy, and we have all these coaching calls. We also have the office hours where Elliot is pretty much in there and people just pop in there and they send the links to their stores and he pretty much will review them as well. Now we also again have the calls that I end up doing as well, and those are once a week on Mondays. If we go over to recordings, there's all the call recordings from every single call that is ever done inside of the Zendrop Academy as well. Now also, if there was a specific topic that you wanted to go over, if there was something that you specifically wanted to see, right, whether that be ads or sales or getting started or product selection, store audits or stores, it's all here as well. So let's just say I wanted to watch back all the coaching calls that were going over ads and sales. I'd click on that And we can see here we have all of these different calls that are relating to ads and sales. I can pretty much just go and watch these back. So this one's Google versus Meta, pricing and store platforms, essential apps and ad campaign basics, ads, refunds, and Google Merchant Basic. Like there's all these different call recordings here for you to go ahead and take a look at. Um, and then also, if we go over to one-on-one coaching, if there's anything that you feel like you need to have someone like hold your hand or you want some actual full one-on-one support, all you have to do is come in here, click on this link, and you go ahead and book in a one-on-one call with one of our coaches and pretty much just ask any questions, and he'll pretty much just tell you exactly everything that you need to know from there. So that's everything that's inside of the Zendrop Academy. It's one of the biggest resources that we have. It has helped so many people with actually getting results because the amount of resources that are in there designed to help you and designed to get you results is insane. So again, I am in there as well. I'm doing I'm one of the coaches in there, so I do a lot of the coaching calls as well. So yeah. Now, um, but those one-on-one, is that costly? No, the one-on-one is included inside the Zendrop Academy. So, so why beginners end up getting further with Zendrop? As we talked about, we do have the community, the Zendrop Academy. We also just have a ton of winning products on there for you to go ahead into Zendrop and choose any. There's a ton of different products on there you can choose from. Sourcing from trusted suppliers. So the suppliers that are in Zendrop are all very trusted. You get fast shipping so that you don't have to worry about getting chargebacks because your shipping takes too long. Then order fulfillment that runs itself. Everything is fully automated, and you don't have to really worry about your fulfillment, right? You don't have to sit back. You don't have to manually do everything for you, for your store. Let me get a sip of water here real quick. And then, as we kind of just talked about it, with the support, especially like what's inside of Zendrop Academy. You also get the live coaching, 24/7 support. Like at any time, if there's anything that you need help with, you always have support inside of Zendrop. So again, today is going to be the final day of this 5-day event. So before we hop off here, I want to give you guys the last opportunity to go ahead and go and join the summer offer or take on the summer offer. Now, that entire community, that entire course, all of Zendrop Academy, that is inside of the summer offer. So if you do not join into the summer offer, if you don't take on the summer offer, you do not get access to that entire community. I believe you get access to the community, but you do not get all the assets inside of there. You don't get all the course modules. You don't get the calls. There's a lot of things that you end up missing out on. You get a couple basic things, but nothing too crazy. So again, all of that is inside of the 192 a year offer. This is the annual plan. If you are on the monthly plan currently and you want to take up this offer, you can 100% go and upgrade from the monthly over to the annually as well. So all you have to do is just search up zendrop.com/summer. Or you can go ahead and scan this QR code. But again, it is going to be zendrop.com/summer, and you'll be able to go ahead and sign up. Again, you'll also get $100 in order fulfillment credits. So pretty much all of the first sales that you're getting, all of the money that you're making from your first couple sales, you're pretty much pocketing all of that because you have these credits that cover your product costs, essentially. So that's shipping and the actual product cost itself. And then you're also getting the 525 AI UGC video and image credits. So we went over on day 2 on how to create these video and image ads. And in there, we showed off how to use the tool to then create these videos and images that you can use to drive traffic to your store. So a lot of these are very, very important to actually make sales. Like I talked about earlier, if you're not getting traffic to your store, then you can have the best looking store ever, you can have the best product ever, you can do everything right, you can have the best systems in place, but if you're not driving traffic to your store, then you're not going to make any money because there's no one even going to the store to buy anything in the first place. So with these credits, you're able to create the videos, you're able to create these images to then run them as ads or to post them organically and drive traffic to your store. So very, very helpful. And again, like I said, the entire community, the course, the coaching calls, the one-on-one calls, everything like that inside of the Zendrop Academy is included in the summer offer. So, um, again, if you guys want to go ahead and grab it, it's going to be zendrop.com/summer. Usually it's around $549, but because we had you guys on here for this 5-day event, we want to give it to you for $192 annual. You also get a 7-day money back guarantee. So let's just say that you go ahead and you buy it, you don't like it, and maybe you don't want to do dropshipping anymore, you can go ahead and get your money back, no questions asked, anything like that. You get to join in, you get all of these order fulfillment credits, you get all of these image or video and image credits, right? So again, let's just say you join in, right? You pay the 192. You get a store fully built. You'll also then have all these credits to now create these videos and images to then drive traffic to your store, right? You start driving traffic to your store because you have all these videos, you have all of these images, and now you start getting some sales. And what happens is because you have this $100 in order fulfillment credits, the first couple sales that you make, you're pocketing all of that money. You don't have to pay for shipping. You don't have to pay for the actual product costs. You get to just pocket all of that for yourself, and pretty much ends up paying its entire self off. So essentially, we have built and systemized an entire thing for you where we build the store for you. We help you create the video and image ads. We help you pretty much get all of these things set up, and you have all the coaching to show you how to do all these things as well. So you have the courses to pretty much follow along with. You have the weekly coaching to pretty much help you if you have any questions or if you're struggling with anything. So again, it all ends up kind of just paying itself off in the long run anyways. Now, the other thing is when you go with the annual option, it kind of also forces you to keep going with it. I see it all the time. The people that end up going with the monthly option, most of the time end up, or I've seen a lot of the time end up quitting because they think, oh, I'm only on the monthly option. I can just cancel at any time. It's no big deal. But the people that bought into the annual option are way more likely to succeed just because they paid for the entire year already. So they have access to all these tools, they have access to everything for the entire year, right? So in their minds, they're thinking, oh, well, I already paid for the entire year. I can't just give up on it now because I already paid for it. Let me just go ahead and keep on going with it anyways. And what happens is because they keep on going with it, because they already paid for the entire year, they stick with it. And because they stick with it, they get more experience and they get better at dropshipping because they've done it for longer. The entire point is just to keep going and just try and to do it as long as you possibly can. So, um, yeah. Does anyone have any questions? I know I kind of just went off on a big tangent again. I want to try and get as many people into this summer offer as possibly can, just because I want to get more people in there so that I can help you guys out. I know again, with all the coaching and all of the resources that we'll have in there, we'd be able to again help out a ton of people inside of there as well. So. Uh, Now, does anyone have any questions about the offer? Does anyone have any questions about everything that we just went over in this entire call, the entire scaling, everything like that? I know there was a lot that I kind of just went over, so I still can't find what the 32 plus premium features are. I bought and I would like to use them. Um, Patty, if you could send over the list of all of the summer offer features, just because I don't have them in front of me, all listed out. Or if it's on the page. So I bought the offer, just my email to log in. Yeah, so it'll just be your if you just bought it, I believe that it's going to you just need to put in the email that you used to buy it. Now again, does anyone have any other questions regarding the offer? Um, Zendrop promised a $100 credit allocation. I'm still waiting. It Richard, did you purchase with the zendrop.com/summer with that link? Or did you just go over into Zendrop and just purchase? Can you still buy this weekend? Yes, you can still buy this weekend. Give me 1 second here. No, we're done. reaching milestones on account. Um, Richard, what do you mean exactly? Adam, how many stores do you have, and how long until your first product or first store started making a profit? I currently run one store. It's the brand new one that I just launched. So yeah, I launched that store. I would have to say about less than a week ago now. Or that's like launching. So like I launched ads for it. Actually created the store, I would say a week and a half ago. And that was doing all the product research, research on my customer, creating the store, all these things. Um, but yeah, and then how long until your first store started making up? My first ever store, uh, probably 6 months, but that's because I had no coaching. I had no idea what I was doing. I was also very stubborn when it came to coaching. I was like, I'm not gonna pay for coaching. I can figure everything out on my own, which is kind of one of the biggest things that I regret. I wish I just like paid for coaching and all of these things and like invested in myself because I would have gotten to the results a lot quicker in comparison. Um, just because I would have learned more. I was hard headed and I wanted to um, figure out everything on my own. I was like, oh, I don't need to pay for anything. This is not worth it. Where looking back now, I wish I had purchased all of these things. So yeah, definitely very worth it to invest in yourself, especially in knowledge. Um, in my case, I wish I would have invested more into myself. But it is what it is, and I learned through it. Yes, it took me a lot longer, and I would have gotten the results a lot quicker, and maybe I would have been even further ahead in ecom than I am right now because of that, right? Because I would have learned all those lessons. Um, but at the same time, though, I did learn a lot of those lessons. It just took me a lot longer. So, if you're the type of person that doesn't care about waiting that long and um, you don't like you don't really care that much about getting results, then you aren't really the type of person to invest in yourself. But if you genuinely care about trying to get results as quickly as possible, and actually learning, then I highly recommend investing in yourself is one of the best things that you could do. So whether that be courses, mentorships, whatever it is. So again, if you're fully on board with ecom and you know that you want to do this and you know that you want to get results as quickly as possible, again, that's what I wish I would have done for myself. Um, do you think stores that offer a variety of products or even focus on a niche like cat products or jewelry are as good as a store with just one or two focus products like a protein supplement? I would find a product that solves some sort of a problem. That's one of the biggest things. Then from there, it's just about focusing on that one product mainly, and then trying to drive as much traffic to that product and just testing new angles, testing creatives, and just testing the product itself, right? If you're testing all of these angles, testing all of these creatives, and you're driving traffic to your store and they're not converting, and then say you test even more creatives, test more angles, and it's still not performing well, then all right, let's go ahead and move on to something else. But the biggest thing, find a product that solves a problem, and also you want to look to make sure that that product is already selling for somebody else, right? So let's just say that you find a product that one, it solves a problem and somebody else is selling it and they're selling it very, very well. Look at the angle that they're selling it at and then try and see if you can come up with a new angle. The reason I like to also come up with new angles is because you're able to go into a more untapped market. um, I know we talked about this on day one with Austin Raymond. If you guys were there, uh, pretty much we gave a few examples. One of the best examples that I like to use is if you guys have ever heard of dew wipes, it's essentially just baby wipes repackaged, but for men. Uh, all they did was just change the angle of who they're selling to and change the avatar of who they're selling to. They didn't change the product. They didn't come up with something new. They didn't, nothing brand new, nothing crazy. All they did was they took this product that solve this one main problem, right? It was baby wipes. It's meant for just, you know. And instead, All they did was just change the packaging and change the avatar on who they're selling to, and now they're $1 billion company. They didn't come up with a new idea, they just came up with a new angle. And that's what you need to do. Find a product that solves a problem. Look to see if somebody is already doing very well with this product and try to think to yourself, how can I put my own spin to it? How can I add my own twist to it? How can I come up with a new angle for this and sell to an avatar and sell to an angle that doesn't really have much competition? Because then you can just dominate that one area and it becomes so easy to sell to these people because when somebody sees that, they think this product is specifically designed for me and my needs, right? This is a product designed for me, right? The reason Dude Wipes is so successful is because there's a lot of guys that didn't really feel comfortable with buying baby wipes and using baby wipes for themselves. So what they did is they created Dude Wipes. They created this new angle and said, these are wipes designed for men. They have more manlier scents to them. It doesn't smell like girly. It doesn't have this girly packaging on it, right? So you create this packaging called Dude Wipes, and you create this angle, and that's how Dude Wipes is created. Now that's just one example right there. So someone says your QR code is deactivated. Cynthia, if you want to just go ahead and just search up zendrop.com/summer, then you'll be able to get to that page. The other thing is these calls, exactly what I'm doing right here, just answering these questions and diving in deeper and deeper on every single topic that you guys have questions on. All of these calls and all these interactions, just like this, is all done inside of Zendrop Academy when you join into the summer offer. So again, if you really want to take advantage and you want to get the best results possible, investing in yourself is one of the best things that you can do. I mentioned earlier, something like this, investing in coaching calls just like this, where you're able to ask people like me that have all of the knowledge and the experience in ecom, and also other coaches that are inside of here, you'll get access to all of that. So again, this is a 5-day event. This kind of was maybe I guess like a trial kind of to what's inside of the community, what's inside of the Zendrop Academy. But like after this 5-day event, for anybody that doesn't join to get calls like this, it's going to be very, very difficult to find actual good coaches that know what they're talking about. And that's why, again, inside Zendrop Academy, we have a ton of very good coaches that are able to answer questions like these and to dive in deeper and pretty much just tell you what you need to do, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. So, again, to Cynthia, go ahead, just search up zendrop.com/summer, and that'll bring you over to the page where you can go ahead and grab the offer now. Let's see. How do you find a source for a single product that will drop ship and isn't already saturated? There's a couple ways to find winning. I'm assuming you're asking how to find these products. There's a couple ways you can find these products. I like going onto TikTok and TikTok Shop, and I'll look for products that solve a problem. And then also inside of TikTok Shop, you're able to see how many sales that product has. So if I go on the TikTok Shop and I see a product has 10,000 sales, then I know, like, all right, people are actually buying this product. It solves a problem. If I created a brand, I can charge a more premium price. Because when you look at like TikTok Shop products, people see TikTok Shop products and they know it's going to be a cheap Chinese product. But if you create a brand around it, you create a clean, good-looking landing page, you create this content and all these ads and everything like that to really, again, make this brand ecosystem. That's how you can actually make money, like and charge a premium price for your products in comparison to like TikTok Shop. So, all right, give me a minute. I'm gonna drink some water here. While I'm drinking water, please go ahead, just type in any questions you guys have. This is the final call of this entire event, which is kind of crazy how we've already made it to the final day now. But if there's any final questions you guys have, feel free to drop them in. Now, if you did join into the summer offer, took advantage of the summer offer, you will see me on the live coaching call. So this isn't going to be the last time we speak to each other. So yeah. But if you don't join, then again, ask any final questions you guys might have. Now, other thing, real quick, I also am on Instagram. I do create content around e-commerce. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out my Instagram as well. My Instagram is just my name, Adam Palomeke, just all together. So if you guys want to go ahead, you can follow me on there. I create content about e-commerce pretty much every single day. I haven't really been posting recently about it just because I've been, no joke, probably putting in like 8 to 10 hour days on this new e-com store. So yeah. But once that store is up and like really up and running, and I can kind of take a step back a little bit more, and a lot of the systems start to get fully built out, I'll probably start end up creating a lot of content around it. But currently, I've just been very focused on this. Like no joke, these webinar days when I'm not on the calls like I am right now, I'm sitting here just focused on that store, whether that be creating new angles, creating new ads, copy, uh, store design, thinking of new offers, like all these different things, creating systems, automating things, email campaigns, SMS campaigns, like all these different things. If I'm not for the past couple days, if I'm not on the live call, I'm here working on the ecom store. So let's see. Do you need to create a company for every site you set up, or is one company for multiple sites okay? Are you talking about like an LLC? How do you price your products from Zendrop to Shopify? So if you are adding in a product from Zendrop and you're adding it over into Shopify, when you click on add to my store, it's going to give you a prompt where you can go ahead and edit your product pricing there. Um, and then you can also change the name of your product. You can change the description of all these things. And then when you click on like import, it'll put all of the products into Shopify. And then let's just say maybe down the line you want to change the product price, maybe you want to change the title of the product. All you do is you click on products and then you go in there and you can just manually change the pricing and everything like that. And then when you change the pricing on or yeah. When creating videos or images through AI features, is then drop disclose if it has been AI generated, or is that something we have to disclose when running ads? You don't have to disclose it. You can run it as is. And Zendrop won't have anything on there that says like this is AI. No. Again, you don't have to disclose anything that it's AI. Like for myself, I don't have anything saying that this is AI. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Shot for your time, my bro. Keen to link soon. Richard, what do you mean? If we're not able to find a product through search bar, I was told we could request. What do you need to request a screenshot or web link? If you can have both, that's best possible. You know, if you can grab like a link to the product and then also like a screenshot, just as much information as possible. Do I need private label to do drop shipping, or can I sell products from seller's brand? What happens if I use my own branding on the product images, but the customer receives an item with their brand name? I would try and stay away from selling products with a different brand name on there, and just try and look for like blank versions of it with no branding on there, unless you can get your own branding. So, do you have Zendrop partners working one-on-one with us besides during the summer promo? So if you take on the summer promo, you're able to join Zendrop Academy, and inside of there, anybody once you're in Zendrop Academy, you can schedule those one-on-one calls. How do you know the price to change it to? I'll usually look at competitor prices, and I'll just look at the prices in general. Like I'll look at how much the product is on Amazon. I'll look at my competitor pricing. I'll look at the pricing on TikTok, like TikTok Shop. I'll look at all of the pricing on there, and then usually I like to be one of the higher premium prices because I like to establish my brand as like the premium option. I don't try to be at the same price as like Amazon or like TikTok Shop because people know like when you're buying off Amazon, it's probably not going to be the best quality. So what I like to do for my store is I try to price it a lot higher, because I want it to, again, my brand needs to feel more premium. Now the other thing is when you charge more for something, people are going to associate that price to it being more premium, right? If you look at something that is very expensive, right? All right, let's put it this way. If you went to a steakhouse and you saw two different steaks, one steak was, I don't know, $50, right? Not bad. And another steak, you look on the menu, was $400. Which steak would you believe is probably better? Which steak do you think probably tastes better? The $400 steak, right? Everybody's going to say the $400 steak probably tastes better. Same thing with our products, right? You shouldn't be racing down to try and be the cheapest on the market. That's just the fastest way to lose. What you need to do is you establish yourself as the premium option. So when you set a high price, a very expensive price for your product, people correlate that to your product being more premium. If your price, let's just say the industry standard for a certain product is $50, and now your people land on your store and your product is $150. People are going to think, why is this $150? I feel like the product needs to be so much better if it's $150. They're immediately going to think that the product is way more premium and is worth way more, right? Sometimes all you have to do to make your product feel more premium is just good branding and a more expensive price. Again, you should not be racing to the bottom with your pricing. What time is it? Wow, we are so over time. I didn't realize it was 1:23. We've been on for an hour and 23 minutes right now. That's insane. All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap up the entire 5-day event. I'm not going to take on any more questions just because I feel like I've been talking for an hour and 23 minutes. Um, so my voice might be shot tomorrow. It is what it is. I hope you guys got a ton of good value from this. Um, Now, again, if you want all the coaching calls, if you want to get more access to me and all the other coaches that we had on as guests and everything like that, again, zendrop.com/summer. Go ahead, grab the offer. It's going to be going on until August 31st, I believe. So just take advantage of it right now. If you're serious about e-commerce, you're serious about getting results, invest in yourself. That is, again, I promise you, it's going to fast track everything because you're going to learn at a way faster rate. I'm telling you that from personal experience. I spent 6 to 8 months just doing ecom, getting no results over and over and over. And I was thinking, probably the same as you guys. A lot of you guys thinking like, no, I can figure it out on my own. I can do this on my own. I have no doubt that a lot of you guys can figure it out on your own. I promise you, if you stick with it, if you don't quit and you actually put the time in, a lot of you, yes, I believe everyone in here can all figure it out. But it's going to take you a long time. If you're serious about getting results as quickly as possible, I urge you, invest in yourself. Zendrop.com/summer. Take on the offer. I highly, highly recommend it. I cannot, there's really not more I can say from there. So, again, that's going to wrap it up for this entire 5-day event. Pretty crazy how this entire 5-day event went very, very quickly. I hope you guys all got a ton of good value out of this. I hope to see a ton of you guys inside of the Zendrop Academy. So if I don't see you there on Monday for our group call, I don't know. Um, I hope I see you the following Monday. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap everything up from here. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I want to say none of our guests that were here are here right now, but I want to say thank you to all of our guests that joined the calls throughout the week. Very, very helpful. They came on here and gave us all a ton of good information. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for me. I got to hop off this call. My voice is going to be shot. So yeah, again, I hope you guys all got some good value out of this. That being said, I will see everyone later. Everyone have a good rest of your day. So yeah, bye everyone.